Hello and welcome to a special segment of GameSpot's Play for All. We are talking dual universe. So if you've ever played No Man's Sky or Elite Dangerous or any other of these spacefaring games, you might be familiar with what dual universe is doing, but what if you smash that all together? So we're going to talk about that with JC Baillie, who's the lead developer on Dual Universe. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, so first, there's a lot going on. I think that people think of Star Citizen as well when they look at this, or EVE Online, but kind of give us a brief overview of all the things that you're doing with Dual Universe.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be, maybe a bit provocative. We are none of the games you mentioned. Actually,
right,
we
fair.
are a bit of some of those things in those games. But really, to understand you in 30 seconds what Dual Universe is about, I will give you two things. The first is that this game, so it's an MMORPG, takes place in space, there are many planets and so on. But the key thing is that one, every player is playing in the same world at the same time. I'm talking about potentially millions of people sharing the same world at the same time. So there's only one server, one reality, it never stops, it's persistent. So it's about letting players construct. Basically, we have industry gameplay, we have economy, we have territory, we have PvP. So we have all the ingredients to let players build their own civilization. That's super ambitious, super cool, and it has never been done before. There's no game that really covers that with that amplitude. The second thing about the universe is that in this world, everything is editable. So you can edit the planets to start with. I mean, you can dig holes in the ground. You could take a mundane out if you want. If you have time, it's going to be very long, but it can be done. That's, by the way, how you collect raw materials, resources that you can use in crafting and so on. But you can then use those resources to build, cities, spaceships, orbital stations, anything you want. And so that adds, I would say, maybe a bit of Minecraft heritage to the thing we're doing, even though the graphics are totally not like Minecraft, to be clear. But I mean, it's based on what we call voxel technology. It allows you to sculpt shapes the way you want. It's really beautiful. The players have already, those who have access to the alpha have already done incredible things with that.
You've been at work with this for about 4 years, I believe. I think that's, And yeah, no doubt ambitious. And you're entering a new phase for the game as well. I think this is the newest news as it relates to Dual Universe, but you are now going into a beta phase. Can you tell me all the details about that?
Yes, certainly. So this is a big news we're announcing today. So first, there's the date for the beta, which is set on the 27th of August this year. So we keep to our schedule and our roadmap. So as we said, during the summer of 2020, that's happening. So it's going to be August 27. It's a big milestone because we are going to reach, with the beta, a really playable game with all the key ingredients for the thing I was talking about, the civilization and merging. The other big announcement is that now we officialize our business model with the price and things that are very concrete. So we aim for, since the beginning, for subscription. We can discuss why not a free to play. It's related to the nature of the game, the fact that it cannot be reset, it's persistent and so on. But what is, I think, fairly new is that we've decided to go with a very low price point. So it's going to be $6.99 per month. And we're going to sell packages of 3, 6 months, 12 months with a reduction in the price. So overall, I mean, you can play the game for 1 year for less than $70. So that's, compared to other games, it's very reasonable. But it allows also us to have a sustainable business model that allows us to focus on the player and the gameplay. So we're not trying to put the usual techniques that you find in free to play. So this is a game all about players. And it comes with a subscription, but $6.99, it's not that much. And believe it's affordable and will allow a large number of players to benefit from the game.
Yeah, that was a little bit surprising because of the way the trends, like you said, free to play and microtransactions. So you're steering away from microtransactions and solely relying on the subscription model?
No, we're going to have some cosmetic items that you can buy, but they will be purely cosmetic, of course. So, I mean, skins for, to give a personality to, for example, your ship or your character. That's kind of an obvious thing. I mean, you don't have to buy any of those. And we're not going to twist the game in a way that, you really feel you have to buy any of those. That's the key thing, right? But sure, I mean, if people want to spend more money, we're going to have ways for people to do that. but it's not going to be the way the game is designed, right? That's, I think, the key difference.
I think the one thing for me that I'm most interested in is how you're facilitating in-game markets and the in-game economy.
That's actually a very important point. You're right, because this is like the nervous central system of the game. The markets, in the full game design that we will get there at some point, people can create markets. Right now, they're created by us, so you get a lot of markets all around on the planet. And if you go on those markets, you can put buy orders, sell orders, and you can actually trade. It's a real market. I'm not going to go into details, but I mean, think of Wall Street or, I don't know, Bitcoin market. I mean, this is the way it works. And so you can go on those markets. You don't need to understand how it works. If you can just go and instant buy something, it will get you the best price for what you want. But this is a very important feature of the game. It allows, in fact, specialization. So as a player, you're not expected to do all the gameplays. Well, you can if you want, but the point is that you might specialize in one thing. Let's say you want to be a pirate. You're going to be flying ships and destroying other people's ships, so you get their stuff. That's how you make your money, right? But you don't know how to build ships, or maybe you like to customize them a little bit, but you don't build ships. You go on the markets and you buy those ships. So that's the spirit. And the game is super large, so it's very difficult for someone to actually, from collecting materials that are actually in the ground, you dig and you access them like that. There's a few of them on the surface, that is entry-level materials that are easy for, to get a start. But I mean, from getting there to having a mothership with a crew of 100 people, it's very hard to do all by yourself. It's like the real world, the industry. You don't build an iPhone by yourself, right? I don't know anybody who has ever done that, right? And even if you want to build a phone, I think it's possible. You can buy spare parts and things, but you're going to buy things that are not coming from the ground, right? It's things that are already parts that have been made by other people. So the same logic applies. There is a full-fledged economy. People specialize. You buy what you don't care or what you don't know how to do, and you sell what you're good at. Or you make a business of taking other people's stuff, and it's your decision. You're free. Prices are set by the equilibrium of supply and demand, right? So we don't know the price of stuff. And they may have different prices in different places in the world, depending on scarcity, depending on, if this planet has a lot of iron probably is going to be cheap on that planet, I don't know. But that's all up to the players to decide, or I would say to emerge.
Yeah, that actually leads into one of my other questions is how much player control do the players have when it comes to establishing their communities? Because I know that one of the mechanics you can do is establish organizations, establish nations. So what kind of rule sets are they going to be working with? And also, how do you regulate that if you want to?
Well, it's a very complex question, but I'm going to give a very quick sketch of answer. The equivalent of guilds are what we call organizations. So it's a generalization of a concept that can actually apply indeed to nations, but also to corporations or even group of pirates or friends. That would be grouped under the same term. It is an organization. An organization is composed of legates. If you want, those guys, they own the organization and they have the rights to vote, and they make decisions, and in particular they control the right management system. That is the system in the game that allows you to set for every given asset that the organization owns. And on the other side, in an organization you have members. They don't own the organization. They can come and go, and they are usually put in certain roles, and that's the structure. And if you think about it, if you look at a company, usually you have shareholders, those guys are the delegates, and you have employees, those guys are the members. And we hope that some really great things are going to emerge. You can maybe invent a new way of, a new kind of organization, whatever. And that's really cool to observe already. And we think it's also cool to play.
Where's your position on kind of handling moderation? Have you seen places where you need to get involved, or has it generally been going the way as you planned, or have the players been taking care of their own communities?
Right now, as I speak, we didn't have any major incident, any problem. And I think it's because, the people playing in alpha, they pay a relatively high price. They want to support the game. They are big fans. So I don't think this is necessarily representative of what's going to happen in the long run. So we have set all sorts of measures. As usual, it's not just one silver bullet to cover that. There are ways for you to report things that do not follow the the user license agreement. You have ways in the game mechanics, to set properties, so like territories where you don't let people dig in the ground if you don't give them the right. That's very important to say. I mean, it's not like a free-for-all PvP game.
Right.
There's large area of the world that are non-PvP. So in those areas, you cannot even break that door by actually shooting at it. So they are practically impossible to open if you don't have the right. Now, if you go in the PvP area, it's a different story. You might be attacked. Somebody might take your territory and claim your stuff. I mean, you have to defend that. It's another story. It's very interesting, but players have a choice.
What purpose does PvP serve in the world of dual universe? Like, does it hinge on agreements of war? Are there what's at stake when you do engage in PvP?
What's at stake is usually the ships and the properties that are potentially under attack, but also indirectly also the territories. So this is not in the beta I'm talking about right now. It's called territory warfare. It's the part of the PvP that will take on the surface of planets. But anyway, the reason why you want to go in PvP is, first, maybe you're a pirate, so you want to take that stuff. You want to steal that ship from somebody. That's one reason, because you want to make money. The thing is, we want to make it so defense is favored against offense. That is sure, you can go and attack someone, but it's going to cost you. It's something you need to plan and think. And if you act rationally, it's maybe not the most efficient way to solve your issues. We know that some players will want to play, Agent of Chaos, and they don't care about rationality. So that's fine. But I mean, they might actually have a hard time, because it's not like you can just say, oh, I don't know what to do tonight. I'm new to Dual Universe. I'm going to go with 3 friends on Saturday evening, and we're going to blow the headquarters of the most powerful organization, empire of the game. No, you're going to lose.
Man, there's so much to unpack, but I do have at least one more full question here. Might be a broad one, but what exactly is it that players are striving for in Dual Universe?
I'm going to answer you in a funny way. I'm going to say, what are people striving for in real life? It's up to you. You do what you want. This world, we want it to feel real. And so, maybe you want to be super rich. Maybe you want to have a lot of power. Maybe you want to be feared by everyone. Maybe you just want to be solo in one place and just build beautiful stuff. That's completely fine. And it's up to you to find your path in the game. And that's the beauty of it, I think. So I'm not going to answer that question. I can tell you what you can do in the game. We've put a lot of things in it. So I think you can do a lot of things already. But it's up to you, I think, to figure out your path. And that's the beauty of it.
Sweet. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to touch on before I let you go?
Right. I think we forgot to talk about something important, is the platforms where you can actually buy the game. So we decided that for now, we're not going to be on Steam or Epic Store. We're going to be on our website. It doesn't mean we're never going to be there, but it's something we need more time with. And
folks who are interested in getting in the beta, they would just go to the website, pick a subscription model, download, and get into it.
That's right. And once, technically the game is free, you can download it. It's just that when you want to log in, you need to have an active subscription. That's it. So. All
right. Sweet. JC Baillie, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about Dual Universe. I'm sure we'll talk again, because I'm sure a lot of new things are going to happen when the beta hits. So thank you for taking the time.
For sure. Thank you for having me. Bye.
And all of you out there, thank you so much for watching us. That's Dual Universe again, and you can check that out very soon. And we have so much more coverage here on GameSpot for Play for All, so check out all of our developer interviews, all the gameplay, and all the news that we've been covering. We'll see you there.